Wow, what a lag on that, Lyle.
I think you knocked that out of the park, man. I really like
You know what? We're let's show that again because there was such a long lag and people sent me pictures. So why don't you let me do that again?
All right.
Sit tight, folks. I've created a bumper for Panfish Nation for the start here, and a lot of people sent me pictures. So I want to make sure that I get to show them pictures here. Let me scroll down and find it. There's somebody's got all sorts of stuff here. Here we go. All right, I think that's a little better than the one that used to be on there, the generic one. But man, that lag, it was like 50 seconds on my end, Lyle, for the show to start.
I don't know.
I don't know. Welcome to Panfish Nation, everybody. My name is Mark, co-host of Mr. Lyle Stokes. How you doing, bud?
I'm good, man. Speaking of great fish, Eric Massey caught a giant bluegill on Stockton Lake this morning.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. I'll have to check out his Facebook page.
Well, I don't know if he posted it or not. I think he did, but he sent a message to me while I was out checking some of my places that I had planned on fishing and can't get to. But wow, it was a good one. I think he told me that was the only one he caught, but one like that'd be one and out with me. You know what I mean? It was a giant.
I got something I'm a little proud of. You mind if I show it off?
Of course not.
I caught this monster today. Look at that.
Wow.
25 and a half inches. I was happy to catch that one. I got that and 3 other keepers in the slot limit. So I was a happy man. Caught a whole, I think I caught like 16 walleye today and 2 catfish all in a couple of hours. It was a good day. It was hot though, Lyle. It was like ridiculously hot.
It's hotter in Chicago than it is in Southwest. Hard to believe, man.
92 degrees today here. I thought I was going to melt.
Yeah, it only got me 80s, but we got it coming. It's coming. I see it in the forecast, 90-degree weather, and you know I got to mow the yard tomorrow, and I said I got to get 2 tires fixed on the lawnmower. I'm tired of airing them up. I said I want up early in the morning so I can get that crap done.
You got to go get those tires replaced, or are you just gonna pour some or spray some stuff inside of them, whatever that fix it?
But I've done the front too. They never, lawnmower tires of mine, the tread never wear out. They dry rot because you don't use them enough, you know, and you put inner tubes in them and they'll go again. And that's what I did to the front two, and that's what I'm going to do to the back two.
Yeah, that's
a lot cheaper tires.
That is a lot cheaper tire. I thought about switching my trailer tires over to radials, but we can save that for another show.
Yeah.
Mine are starting to wear in the middle, so I kind of aired them down a little bit. Hopefully that'll make a difference. We'll see.
Before we get started in the show, Mark, you and I talked about some things that we're going to talk about tonight, but the weather is important, but that's not where our changing is going to go tonight.
No, it's not. And before we start, Lyle, we should wish everybody out there a happy Father's Day this weekend for sure.
Absolutely. My father passed away when I was 15. You never get over something like that. But I had a brother who was 9 years older than me that just kind of stepped in and took care of things. So it was like having a second father for me growing up. But a lot of people are lucky their parents live to be older and they get to be with them a lot. But the ones of us that didn't happen with, you feel like you've kind of been cheated. So if your parents are still alive on Mother's Day and Father's Day, Grandparents Day, whatever it is, make them understand how important they are to you.
100%. I've been trying to make it to my father's house every Tuesday. So if I go missing on Tuesdays, Creel, you know where I'm at. So I visit him every Tuesday.
I think that's a great idea because I know he's had some health issues, and we hope everything's going good there.
Yeah, he's doing all right actually. So we're gonna go out of all, and he wants to go out on Friday and have a fish fry because at the place my niece works at, his granddaughter. So we're gonna do that. We're looking forward to that. So
that's awesome.
Then the weekend's gonna be free. Will I go fishing? I don't know. We'll see. I've been fishing during the day. I've been on the walleye bite, like you know. And I think a lot of people in chat know. So let me thank everybody that sent in pictures for that awesome beginning of the show. I want to thank Benoit Fishing Outdoors. Allison and Gabby sent us a couple of those. Chad and Dee sent us some pictures. Betty Jean Cross and Brandon Cross sent some pictures. Buck sent in a picture. Also, Matt from Want to Be Outdoors sent in some photos. I think the photos were great. And if you notice, everybody had smiles on their faces for the most part. Even Matt, you can tell he's cracking that little smile in a corner of his mouth. And you know, them soldiers, it's hard for them to smile, but he was definitely smiling.
So. It is, but I've seen him smile big. He won that rod rack, and we met him and gave that to him that couple of years ago, and he had a big smile on that day.
I imagine he did. So he's good people like everybody else. What do you say? I welcome everybody who's here.
That sounds like a plan, buddy.
All right. I see Benoit Fishing Outdoors. Thank you again, dear. Bugman22. What's going on, Bug? Crappie Day Fish On channel supporter. Thank you for your support, Lyle, and I appreciate it. There's our buddy Creole Catfishing. How you doing, Jeremy? Oak Slope Outdoors. I think he said he was going fishing up here in chat, going to Truman on Sunday. Well, good luck to you. Parker Pursuits, what's going on, Jerry? How you doing? There's my buddy Ryan over at Setting Hooks and Crossing Eyes. Schmieder of the Cedars, love that name. Welcome. There's Aaron from Up in the Air Run Outdoors and Wabash Nate. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for spending your Wednesday evening with us. We appreciate it. I also see John Boy's catfishing in there in case I missed him. I don't know why his name didn't show up on the list. Maybe my computer's doing funny stuff. So,
well, it could be.
Could be. It's getting old and tired like me, Lyle.
I understand 100%. I really do.
Did we talk about the weather? We talked about that 92 degrees. It's marked me for life. That's like my first 90-degree day of the year, and I was not having it. I got it to about 66 degrees in here, Lyle, in this room.
Wow.
Nice and chilly. Chilly. I could keep my box of bait in here and be fine. I got my dogs coming in here looking at me funny. Mom was supposed to lock them up, but if you guys see them walking behind me, please forgive me. Give me something to look at.
They will be fine. I'm liable to have one on my lap before we're done.
There you go.
You just never know.
So, Lyle, the thumbnail today was from a picture that you sent me. Maybe you wanted me to show that picture right now? Let's see.
Sure.
Hold on one second here. Let me get that picture up here. So what are we looking at here, Lyle?
That is a tree and the root system of one that floated across that bridge I was standing on and stuck right beside the bridge. The last time I was out there, that was not there. There's also a spot in that bridge and it has a curb along the bridge. That's a different bridge. But that bridge right there has that curb. It knocked part of that curb out when that tree went over. I know that's a lot of force, but we're talking about these waters was 30 plus feet over the height they are now. That sandbar or gravel bar, the one in the background where that tree is, the dead tree, that was there before. That stuff there. The one in the front of there, that was not there.
Huh.
That was not there the last time I was out there. That all washed over that bridge and hung there. And this is just a little small river. They call it a river. I call it a creek. You call it what you want. Don't make a damn to me. But it's got a lot of rock in it. and it's like a big flat on the other side of the bridge going up to the corner that way. And it's not very deep up there, and you can't get down to the water to fish it very easily. Now, Monkey Man James, he can crawl over them boulders and stuff up there where he lives, and he can, yeah, if it stays there, Jerry, it will be. He could get down there and fish them areas, but you can see the bottom all along up above there. So I see no reason to try to fish that and fight all that water. But back where that root ball's at, that's where a guy in a kayak or one of them one man pontoons, stuff like that, could go down there, because it's about 3/4 of a mile to a left hand corner down there. And from what I've been told, there is a deep hole down there and lots of fish in it. A young man told me he hikes down through the stream to get to that. Well, I can't do that. But I did meet the gentleman that owns all that property, and before this flooded part happened, he told me, he said, when next time you come down, stop in, beat on my door, I'll open the gate for you, and you can go down there and fish that corner if you want. Which was really nice of him, but he don't have to open the gate no more, because it's got gravel halfway up the gate on both parts. It opened up like this, and it's going to be open until he gets a tractor down there and does something with it. So it's a mess.
That's amazing that all that rubble got washed up over there. That's a lot.
There is big rocks that has been moved in places that there wasn't there before. I'm talking about big rocks. They've moved. I don't know if they moved out from the bank or if they come down with some of that or not, but there's places next to that bridge that I've fished for the last few years, and there's rocks in there that are big enough I can't pick them up that was not there before. And I don't know where they come from. I don't know. Like I say, it could have washed the mud out away from the bank and I'm rolled off from there in all that current. I don't know, because of course I wasn't there. But them roads has all been closed. They've just recently opened them up. Now, Mark, if you'll change to the pictures of the ones I sent you today, that bridge right there, from the bottom of that bridge to the water, is around 30 or 32 feet from the bottom of the bridge to the water. And you can see all that debris right there where water was going over top of that bridge. And the road where that truck is up there and the other direction, big chunks of asphalt completely missing out of there. Now, this is the kind of stuff that creates and deteriorates fishing spots. And this was the topic of tonight's show. There's places that are going to be really good, like Jerry was talking about that tree. If it stays in there,
it stays there, yeah.
Because the water's actually dipped out of place where that tree's at, is why it's there. Because it wasn't dipped out before, it was just kind of flat. Well, now it's got a hole to hold that tree. And if we don't get another big flood, soon, that tree will be on fire later this year. Because it's going to have a little deep water, probably 4 or 5 feet, where that tree is banged out of there, and all them fish will go in there to get next to there to get stuff falling off of that tree, and insects and stuff, and that cooler water that'll be in the shade from roughly noon on. So that'll be a great place to go.
That will. We had some high water here, which is nothing like what this is, but it does make a difference. A 2-foot rise, a 1.5-foot rise makes a big difference. I found some logs that have washed down, not as big as that one, but big enough.
Yeah.
Usually they don't make a difference here for us when at least when I'm flathead fishing, until they've been in the water for quite some time and they've already washed away. So they'll change it a number of times before they get settled in somewhere. So I went looking for one actually today on my way out to go fish for some walleye, and I don't know what happened to this big root ball that I saw there just last week. It was kind of interesting to see that it was gone, but it had to have gone somewhere, I imagine. But then again, if it's a fresh tree, it's pretty buoyant too. So
that's exactly right. But this tree there doesn't seem to have too much greenage on it, so Hopefully it's been dead a while. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's going to be good structure. The other picture that I sent you today is a road beside this bridge. Now,
Is this it?
normally I just back down that little roadway there, and it ends up. It's you could use it for a boat ramp for kayaks, canoes, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just back up to the water, get out of the truck, and I fish right there and have all my stuff in the back of the truck because we usually go out there through the week when nobody's there in the daytime, and to been in years past been a great place to catch bluegill and stuff for fishing. We can't back down there no more. That brush pile that you see in the middle of the road is about 10 or 12 foot deep and over waist high on me. So they're going to have to get down there with bulldozer or something and shove it out in the water and let it float down. I would prefer they do that because there's a rock wall that them kids gathered up all the rocks down there. Actually, it didn't wash away, and that would float in there. And man, you talk about good. That'd be perfect. It's for them bluegill and stuff that's in there. I would appreciate it if they just shove that out in the water. That'd be awesome.
You know, a lot of times a couple of my better spots, I've walked up to them when I was bank fishing quite a bit, and there's some kids that didn't like losing their spinner baits on these log jams. They had cleaned it up. It was all on the bank. It was pretty upsetting to see that. So
yep,
I just threw it right back in on them. That's all. We had a couple people walk in here while we were talking about these pictures. Lyle David Smith says hello to us. Your son Chadwick Fields, he has a comment about you here. I don't know if you want me to highlight that one.
I've never seen it.
Lance McCoug's in here. Well, there you go. He's also heard that new rock is like a foot tall, and Lyle high dives off of it.
He's not even funny.
And it's Father's Day too. Doesn't he call you Pops?
Yeah, sometimes.
Lance McCoy, what's going on, Lance? How you doing? Jerry Parker, what's up, Jerry? How are you?
Jerry's spot on some of the structure stuff. The point of the story that we're trying to get across is every time we have flood water, whether it be on the Mississippi, the creeks down here by me or up by Mark, doesn't matter where it's at. When you have flood water, things change. So the place that you might have fished for 5 or 6 or 10 years, especially on the big rivers, there might be sandbars that you played on, fished on, barbecued on. It might be gone, never to be seen again. It might be there for 10 years and all of a sudden it's history because the water has that much force and it can change things. And it'll also drop off trees and things under the water that you can't see and you'll find. And if nobody else does, you got a honey hole. Because new structure is always good. The older the structure is, of course, the better it is for fishermen because the fish are getting used to it and it just is better.
Now, I consider weed lines structure, Lyle.
Mm-hmm.
We had let me take this off the screen here. Unless, is there another picture? I think there's one more. Oh, that's that same one, I believe.
That's the same picture.
All right, that's something I sent you. So we'll take that off of here. We had an awfully mild winter this year. At least up here we did. I believe you did as well. Maybe you didn't have 80 degrees on Christmas like you normally do, but we didn't get the ice this year. So the weeds didn't die off as well as they normally do in the winter. So our weed lines that I'm used to, at least on the river, and I hear up north on the lakes, are twice as deep already. And it's only June 12th?
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to cause a bunch of problems this year. So we're going to have to learn how to adapt to that, not just pull out further, but getting them around them. What I'm finding though, advantages to having a good set of maps is knowing where the depths are. And I'm not finding any weeds in 10 feet of water on lakes like when we were up in Mendota. And out here in the middle of the channels, the weeds are staying off of, they stop at about I want to say 4.5 feet so far, but that's going to change here on the river. You know, I might be grateful for some of those pleasure boaters going back and forth, kind of stirring up the water and keeping it clear a little bit, but they're getting pretty thick already. And the water's been awfully cloudy from the rain that we've got. So that's definitely conditioning. And I could tell, because normally natural colored stuff would work good. Today I was having to use like fluorescent orange and chartreuse, a really bright, like a neon chartreuse. Those colors were working well for me. So, but just trying to figure it out, and took me a couple of outings, but once we got it taken care of, we got her figured out. So water clarity changes every time it rains, doesn't it, Lyle?
It does. It does. And it'll go from clear to dingy to chocolate milk looking and even worse. You know, it just depends on, a lot of it depends on the water system. Like the Niagara River, which I talk about quite a bit because it's a great place for me to catch small fish. Normally it's very clear. You can see the bottom in 4 or 5 foot water with it flowing without any trouble. Last time I was out there, is muddy. That's rare for that river to be muddy. Mississippi River is always muddy. I have seen the clarity change on it where you could see 6 or 8 inches in it, but for the most part, it's not like that. Missouri River either, but they do clear up some with the less amount of current. But them things are just steadily churning stuff over all the time, and they got
Yep.
these barges that runs through them, and all kinds of crap.
And the whole country just drains into it. Wherever it rains, it's going to make muddy water, and that water is going to wash down.
That's right. And I told a guy one time, he thought I was crazy, but we fished it and it worked. Where you have 2 different stains of water coming together, like a creek running out into a small river, and the creek will be clear or muddy more so than the main body of the water. Right there where that concentration of the 2 of them coming together, that's a perfect place to catch fish. John Moore and I fished a place like that up off of the Mississippi River, the St. Francis or something. And he said, "Man, where we going to fish?" I said, "I'm going to fish that seam right there where them 2 come together." And boom, we started putting fish just right away. And we didn't put any big ones in the boat, but we put numbers in the boat that day. Mm-hmm. And that was what we was after. But yeah, anytime you got a current seam, changing of a current seam, anything like that, a switchback in a river where the current break goes from one side of the river to the next, that's another ideal spot to fish. All those things add up. Things like that will also change during flood conditions, but not as much so as some of the other stuff.
That's exactly where I was doing pretty well today. I found a point, and at that point there was a seam right at the back, and that was a rocky bottom. I was fishing a weed line, and it was on a bend. So the more, I keep calling it textbook tactics or textbook examples of where to fish structure are, the more you combine that exponentially, it makes your chances of catching fish. Now, that being said, like we had talked a little bit about I clocked the current on the Fox at like almost a mile an hour, just free floating my boat at GPS, which is quite a bit for that little river that I'm on. You've seen pictures and you've seen me live on there and stuff. So today I'm underneath one of these bridges where I usually do pretty well, and incoming was what looked like a school of crappie, and out goes a school of crappie. In came a school of fish, bait fish. I usually do pretty good catching bluegills under this bridge in this spot. They were coming in, they were coming out, they just couldn't keep up. So I kind of moved over a little bit, found out where the closest seam was after the fact, and sure enough, some of them fish got washed up into there, and I don't know if they were resting in there or if they're waiting to ambush prey, but that's where I got on a few of them as far as like some bluegill and some baitfish go. I kind of was targeting the walleye, so I didn't spend too much time there, but I did use what I had with me. I used some of your jigs. I gave them a shot. I got one pole that I got sent here from you in my boat all the time, and I always keep your jigs on there, so I threw it out there just to see what I could find. We did that. So Definitely current is another one. Now a lot of people in chat here and a lot of people that we know and hang out with fish for catfish, where scent is a big deal. And the fish will find it in the muddiest of water. But
Absolutely.
when you're fishing for stuff like crappie or bluegill or even like walleye, granted they do have scent, but when you're fishing with artificials, it's going to make a difference, especially in the dirtier, cloudier water. Not only are you going to want to use like bright colors, you're going to want to use some scent, and that's where some scents come. I've been using that smelly jelly; it works pretty good. Crappie nibbles, even when you're fishing for bluegill, will work good on a hand tie or on a small plastic. Of course, my go-to, the Berkeley Gulp 1-inch minnows. They come in those jars, and that's a pretty good scent. I've been dipping your hand ties that I have from you in that stuff, and that's been helping me get on them too. So I want to make sure that people understand that you got to go after these fish in any way possible, especially when you're fishing tough conditions or conditions you don't know.
One of the other things, Mark, out there where I was at yesterday, there hasn't been hardly any fish in there because of the low water last year. They all left because there was no water to hold them. They went to find different places. Since this flood come through, there's tons and tons of fish in there. Now, there's not any. I haven't seen any real big ones, but there's great numbers of them, especially in the 1, 2, 3 inch size. That was not there because you could see the bottom in it. The water was so low. You could see all of the, all of the bottom of it. You could see the fish. Well, you can see them now because I wear polarized glasses when I go out there, and it's loaded with fish that just hasn't been there. And I think that the water, when it floods like that, moves fish around also. Now, I'm not saying it moves the big fish around because they can probably find a piece of structure to get behind or something. But them little ones, they, they don't know what they're up against. Most of them probably hadn't seen a flood before.
They just get pushed out. I want to say hello to Danny Stone. I want to say hello to Quiet Man Curtis. Chad's got some comments. I gave him a minute timeout. Let him think about that.
Oh,
Jerry says, wow, a whole mile an hour. It was ripping. It is when you got a little creek over here, and I can't even fill a drift sock normally. Danny, not Danny, but Jerry. Jerry, did he say a mile an hour? He says he's more current than that. Yeah, I know how old you are. I'm sure you got some prostate problems going on there, Danny.
he's probably getting a kickstart on that fee.
Here's Chad's comment. Says Mark ain't got no sense.
Oh man.
And then he says he wasn't mean. I apologize, Chad. He'll be back in a few seconds. Welcome back. SK's Crappie Catching Adventure. What's going on, SK? How you doing, bud?
You get to change the subject just a little bit here. You was talking about uh 1 inch Berkeley stuff, and it comes in a little jar with some kind of liquid in it, and it's kind of smelly. It really
Yep.
is, and it feels funky on your fingers and stuff. You can't really wash it off till you get to some soap and water, but it seems to work to attract fish. And what you had said about putting hand ties in that stuff, I actually have been thinking about that, but I just haven't got around to doing it yet. But I think I have some other stuff, and I've talked about it before. It's in a gallon jug out here that I think would probably be good for that. Also, I have a gallon of skipjack, and I've had it for a long time, and it's actually separated a couple times. But you can shake it up, and it looks, it's just oil. I guess I don't know how they get it out of them fish. I don't probably don't want to know. But it's kind of smelly.
I
That'd
bet
be
you it tastes
it's a
like those
natural scent.
barbecue Doritos, Lyle.
That's probably what they. That's about what they
That's
smell.
probably what they
They
flavor
taste.
them with.
Man, them things was nasty.
Nasty, bad stuff.
I didn't like them at all. But yeah, I'm thinking about uh, soaking some hand ties in that, and it'd be a natural scent.
It definitely would. Somebody had told me to use leeches. I told them that our bait shop doesn't really sell them or doesn't get them in too often, and they recommended the Berkeley Gulp leeches. And the reason why I bring them up is because they come in a large container, like this big. It's a flat one, but it's a big one. I'm thinking if I buy some of those, I'm going to hold on to some of that stuff to use just for scent when I'm out and about. So
I have a question for the guys in chat. One of
sure.
the things that I haven't found, and I've been hearing good things about, but I don't know anybody personally that's used it, is the Gulp crickets. Um, I think they use the same liquid and all that stuff. I don't know that they do, but I haven't noticed any difference in the stuff that I've had. But crickets is a great panfish bait. It's even good for catching moon eye and things like that. And my question is, if anybody in chat has used the gulp crickets, and if they have, does it work? Because I haven't found any other than online. And you know how you get online, something comes over people. You got to order a whole bunch of stuff.
I have no idea what that's like.
Yeah. Except leeches or wax form, they freak me out.
Oh, speaking of that, now that you mention it, I want to remind everybody that Berkeley online, they got their flicker sheds on a Father's Day sale, like $1 off. So if you want to save some money and buy one of every color for Lyle or myself, you can go there, and they got free shipping over $20. I want to let you guys know about all that.
Allison, don't worry about them freaking you out. I was up late the other night, and I come out of my bathroom's right across the hall. I come out of there. Here come a spider zooming in through the doorway of my office, and man, I like to beat the floor up stomping that thing. Me and spiders are not real tight. Snakes are even worse, but spiders, they don't belong in my house. There's just no place for them. Then my crazy ass dog ate it the next morning. That's just nasty.
Jerry Parker says some of that skipjack oil with a giant bucktail jig might work for flatheads.
We can always hope, Jerry.
You can, or if you're using a stinger fly like Justin Johnson does on kayak catfishing, that would be something good to add to that. Definitely,
Yeah,
100%. Or if you had a crankbait with some of the jerk baits that they have out there, I call them Chad baits. Got a little bit of feather on the back of them. You could probably, or a little bit of material on the back of them.
Yep. SK says he would hope they would last longer than real crickets. That's my understanding, SK. My understanding is they last fairly well for the size of them, and I've watched people use them on videos, but I'd really kind of like to talk to somebody that's just used them and can say, yeah, they work, or no, don't waste your money, or whatever. But that's Mark give me my first Gulp Alive minnows, and I used them twice before I even had a bite on them. I don't know if it was the place I was at, the wrong time of the year. There's a lot of things that factor into baits a lot of times. But when they started working, they continued to work after that, and I was very pleased with them. Pleased enough, I bought myself a couple of bottles after I went through the ones that he gave me. So yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. And once you catch fish on something, it doesn't matter what it is, your confidence level goes up. Makes you want to use it more because you trust it. It's going to get you a fish, and if you don't know about it, sometimes your confidence in fishing is a lot, especially in choosing your baits, even colors and sizes and different things. If something's been working for you, I'm going back to it until it don't work for me.
100%. If I'm using a confident bait and I'm not getting bites, I'm usually thinking the fish aren't there. I'll move until I find them. They do pretty good that way. So
Got the wrong one. Forgive me if you soak raw shrimp. They turn into rubber small pieces.
I hear Coca-Cola does that to your teeth too, Danny.
Oh, Danny. I'm not going to waste my shrimp on something like that. Just can't do it. Benoit, fishing outdoors is, yeah, spiders are a big no-no. Yeah, I agree 100%. I will set stuff on fire. No, I don't want no snake either. I don't even like large night crawlers. They look too snaky for me. There's something about that.
Really? You don't like night?
I love night crawlers for bait, but when they get to be this long, they're too snaky looking. I ain't messing with them.
I ain't worried about a snake. Ricky Solo Text Adventure. What's going on, Ricky?
Hey, Ricky. Glad to see you made it in tonight.
Schmieder the Cedar says he's got to try that, so he's going to try that.
Yeah, that stuff will eat corrosion off your battery post.
Take the paint off your car.
Why would you put that inside? And I used to drink it by the tons. I went to white soda after I found out that you clean your battery cables. You know, I don't need that. I got enough crap wrong.
And why would you do that to shrimp?
No kidding.
It's bad enough they're doing it to chicken already, Lyle.
I don't like chicken anyhow, so it doesn't really matter.
I like chicken.
But I did have some good chicken the other night.
Really? What'd you have? We're talking about food, Chad. You hear that?
Chicken strips and homemade sausage gravy or hamburger gravy. Or
there you go. Sounds
really
good.
Really good.
I had barbecued Doritos for dinner. They weren't very good.
Yeah. They suck. I don't care for them. I bought 2 bags of them and ate about, I don't know, part of 1 bag and just said, hell with it.
I think we broke Chad, Lyle.
Yeah. I got an emoji.
Yeah, I got that too.
Okay. He says he's not listening. Boy, that's too bad.
He's what? Well, we can make sign language to him, but I will get in trouble for that.
Danny says he loves catching fish more than he loves shrimp, I think. Isn't that what he said?
I can kind of understand.
I don't know. I kind of like my shrimp, but I haven't had any all-you-can-eat shrimp for a while.
Well, Friday's coming up and it's Father's Day. I'd pull the father's card out and make somebody else pay for it and go from there.
I don't even mind paying for it.
Okay, well then go. What's stopping you?
If I can have all you can eat, I'll pay for it. I don't mind it at all.
Do they serve shrimp at Cheddar's? I know somebody you can take.
I don't know. Well, Cindy doesn't like Cheddar's either, so.
Oh.
We ate there one time right after they opened one up in Springfield, and she ordered chicken. Surprise, surprise. And it wasn't done. And we didn't go back after that.
Oh.
That took care of that for me.
No. I almost had to take myself off a camera there for a second.
I'm thinking we've got 2 or 3 chickens in the freezer. Thaw one of them out, fry some fish, and eat some chicken for Sunday afternoon. I know that has nothing to do with fishing, but
sounds good enough to me.
I didn't know that, Danny. I really didn't know that you could soak them in and make them rubbery by soaking them in Coca-Cola. I really didn't. That might not be something bad to try. It really might be all right. I know we've soaked things in shrimp oil, juice, whatever you call it. Caught catfish on them. So shrimp is good catfish bait. I don't condone it. I'd rather eat it, but sometimes you just gotta catch a fish.
Danny's just reminded me that it is free fishing weekend in Illinois this week.
That's outstanding. I love to see these states have free fishing days, free fishing weekends, anything to promote the sport, whether it be for kids, adults, families. It doesn't matter. Anytime they can promote that, that's a wonderful thing. And uh, Benoit says they're having it out in Ohio this weekend too. Um, Feel free to make posts like that in here. That way that people that watch, if they didn't know and they don't have a license, I'm pretty sure most everybody here's got one, except me. I don't have to buy one anymore. Um, but take a kid, take your mom or dad, take your Uncle Joe, whoever, not that Uncle Joe, but any other Uncle Joe, and take them out, have a good time. There's people that just won't spend the money for a fishing license, but if you take them out and they have a good time, maybe they would.
Pack a picnic basket, couple of lawn chairs, some adult beverages, and take your dad fishing if he hasn't been in a long time. How about that?
Great idea. That's a great idea. It's something that will make you both smile. You'll make some memories that you'll never forget. It's just a good thing. Fishing always makes me smile. Even if the fish don't bite, you're not sitting home watching TV, seeing all the crap that's going on in our society. You can just sit out there and you forget about things. And if you do talk about it, you figure out how to fix the world's problems. And you might catch a fish.
You brought something up. You said it'll make you smile, right? You ever see these pictures on social media? You got these tough guys on there with a big old fish in their hands and they're just mean mugging it.
Yeah. You're supposed to be happy about catching fish.
I know. Nate, if it doesn't make you happy, why are you fishing?
That's right. Nate, I've been fishing the last 2 days in a row. I got to mow grass tomorrow. So.
Oh, we're getting some bad storms. If you're in my area or in the path of that storm that's supposedly coming through tomorrow, hopefully they're wrong and weathermen are wrong, but Ryan Hall usually isn't. Please be careful. They're saying there's a possibility of tornadoes and some hail and stuff, so we want to make sure all the people listening are good to go.
Some videos last week of the storms we was having, the hail bouncing off my truck and my dog out running around in the ditch because she hadn't seen that much water in a year, swimming in the ditches and hail beating her on the head. She just kept playing.
Yeah, that looked pretty bad. Thank God those Fords survived that, Lyle. I was worried.
They're built for tough, man.
Danny Stone says, that's how I get Stacia back fishing. She said buying her a license was a waste because she doesn't go enough. Free fishing day, and she bought her license the next week.
Yeah, see how good that worked out for you, Danny. That's a great deal. Another thing on that, if you have a good day fishing that day, I'm sure that's what happened to Stacia. I'm sure she had a good day. She just couldn't wait to go again. It's fun to take them fishing, and they do good. It really is. Makes it easier for you to get to go too.
When I took Sheila out for that couples tournament, that was a good time. She had a blast. So hopefully we'll get her out again this year for that tournament. If you guys are wondering, I'm sure Chad will be making announcements over the summer about when it is and what the rules are and stuff. That's a good event as well.
What month he had that last year?
It was later in the year. Was that October? All I know is it was like 85 degrees here. It was ridiculous.
It was pretty warm here, but that's a fun tournament. It really is.
Even if you're not cheating like Jerry Parker and going to Baldwin trying to beat the doors off of all the other couples that's trying to get their wives to fish.
Nate says this year big free day was Mother's Day in Indiana. Hey, that works too. Make some great memories with your mom. Take her out and let her catch fish. I have some great memories of my mother going fishing. She would never reel the fish in. I guess when she was younger, they probably had cane poles and different things, and they'd get up on the front of the rod and they'd grab the line and back up and pull the fish in. Well, she'd never reel them up. Once the fish got on, that's what she'd do. She'd try to get the hold of the line and walk back up the bank. Just reel it in, Mom. She never did figure that out. But I never took her out in the boat either. I just never got to that.
Benoit Fishing says our bad luck continues. Went out in the garden and slugs ate our entire garden. Beans, cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes are all gone.
Oh man,
Ooh.
that's horrible. I hate to
I
hear
know
that.
nothing about gardening. I'm a city folk. I don't know anything about gardening.
Chad Nolte, welcome to chat, buddy. We're glad to see you in here tonight.
What's up, Chad? Good to see you, bud.
Yeah, that's too bad. Lose all your garden stuff. I didn't put one. We used to plant tomatoes and stuff out back and some pots and stuff, and it didn't do very good last year, so I didn't do very good this year. Just hell with it. They didn't want to treat me like that. I don't have to have them 2 years in a row. Skip a year or two. But what the hell was it Cindy paid the other day for tomatoes at the farmer's market? $3 a pound or some crap like that. Makes me wish
I paid $1 a piece for tomatoes at a farm stand, but they were darn good tomatoes.
these was too. They wasn't worth $3.
$3 a pound, probably not.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But it is what it is. You want them, you pay for them, just like everything else.
Indiana's DNR theme was women's fishing. It's a great one. Most of the free, well, actually in Illinois, I know the free fishing weekend's always on Father's Day weekend. So
it was a week or two ago here in Missouri. They had the free fishing day or weekend or whatever it was, but it was a couple weeks ago.
Danny says Baldwin was great, but I lost the last 2 tournaments I fished there. Frickin' Parker cut them all.
He just hogs things up for everybody.
He does. Rob Chance used to say he's got a horseshoe hidden somewhere on his body.
Inserted, wasn't it?
Inserted. I tried not to go there, but since you did.
Rob is a mess. Man.
Jerry's always inserting things, but we're not going to get into it.
Oh, man.
That's the spirit. Benoit Fishing Outdoors says going to start all over again, hoping to get a decent crop before fall. You can always plant a fall crop too.
You can also put some kind of chemical, I don't remember what they call it now, on that soil to deter them grubs and stuff.
It's got to be something on YouTube. There's everything on YouTube.
Everything is. That's right. That is a fact. Anything else we can go over about our changing conditions, Mark?
I think we covered the, raising water conditions, how it moves things around, fallen trees, water clarity, moving weed lines. Ledges aren't going to move for the most part. We talked about current a little bit, things like that. We talked about how to overcome stuff like that, like moving spots, obviously, colors, scents, adapt to the conditions and keep using things until something works. Move That's spots definitely is a big one.
I take a lot of tackle with me even when I go out to the little places I go pan fishing. Because if something isn't working, just keep trying it till you find out what is. I'm a believer in it. And if all else fails, and you can't catch one on hand ties or rubber baits or anything gulp alive, get you some fishing worms. If they don't bite on fishing worms, they're not going to bite. Night crawlers, red wigglers, anything like that. Go out in your yard, dig up your mom's flower plants. Whatever it takes to get you somewhere. Because if you can't catch bluegill and sunnies and long-eared sunfish and stuff like that on a fishing worm, they're probably not any in
there. Yeah, they're not any in that area. Definitely,
they love that stuff. So.
Chad's got a question for you. He says, Mark, Catfish or Crappie, have you caught any flatheads yet? Nate, Chad, I have not been flathead fishing once this year. I ain't going to lie. I've been trying to fish during the day a little more, trying not to fish all night as much. So it just works out better for my personal life. I'm not having to sleep the day away. I'm able to get a bunch of stuff done. I'll leave that to the young folks. Maybe I'll go out a couple of times. So
you do know you can catch flatheads in the daytime.
Yeah, but not when you got 30-foot twin motor boats buzzing by on a river that's, 3/4 of a football field wide. That makes life a lot difficult.
I'm sure it does.
But I'll just add it to my list of excuses. But yeah, I've caught them during the day, early in the morning. So, but we're trying some other stuff. We're trying to mix it up a little bit. So
That's all right.
I might even try to catch me some of them snot rockets you don't like, Lyle.
I don't like holding them. Eh.
But Fishing says, I seen that, but I tried coffee and that didn't work. Never used chemicals in the garden, but I guess I don't have a choice now. I was worried about salt because I didn't want to burn the plants.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but there'll be something on YouTube that'll help you out.
Danny says he caught one flathead this year. It was 6 pounds and beautiful.
They're all beautiful.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Flatheads are. I like the ones that are all spotted up the best. The dark green ones, the brown ones, the two-tone ones. I just love flatheads. They're the king of cats. That's all there is to it.
The more camo pattern they have on them, the more I like them. Those are my favorite.
I agree. I think they're the best.
Yeah. I've seen them, dark brown. I've seen them baby poop brown, real light color, all sorts of stuff.
But I have to say a real good pumpkin seed might be the prettiest of all.
Yeah.
I like bluegills and all. I like them all, but a pumpkin seed, I don't know what it is about them, but they are just knockout gorgeous. And if they got if they're a hybrid, they got a big old red breast on them. And
yeah, the red breast. Those are probably
really
those are probably my favorite too. I even like green sunfish. They're fun with those orange tip tails and stuff. They're pretty cool.
Yeah. So. Like them all. They're just fun. And if you want to know about those and different kinds of fish, go to there's a local fish hatchery. Of course, Bennett Springs National Park, just a little ways from me. But they're basically a trout hatchery. But there's one at Lake the Ozarks. And there's also one down the other side of Branson that has. You can find out about bluegills, and you can find out about green sunfish and crappie and all of the panfish varieties and catfish and all that other stuff too. And they will actually sell you one or two of them if you want to take them home and put them in an aquarium. My brother-in-law used to have a big aquarium in their house, and he would go by the Walmart and pick up goldfish. And I'd get a 12-pack of beer, and we'd go out there and feed the fish. It was hilarious, man. This was 40 years ago. It was a lot of fun, man. It's like them little channel cat, when they get to be about 5 or 6 inches long, they are really fast in the aquarium.
They are.
That's what the law should allow.
I had some piranhas when I was a kid. Those were fun to watch too.
Wow. Yeah, I'll bet so. What do you do with them when you're tired of them?
I just kept feeding them goldfish, and they would just kind of tear them up and leave half of them lay. I got tired of taking care of them, so I gave them to a friend of mine. So I don't know what he did with them.
I would think they would be kind of messy.
He used to have those Oscars and stuff. That's one thing that I'd like to do as far as, would you consider like Oscars and cichlids panfish, Lyle?
From what I know about them, which I don't know much about Oscars, but cichlids, I watched a guy down in Florida catch a lot of those. I consider that a panfish, yes.
I would too, and they look like they're fun to catch. So,
man, and lots of them down in Florida.
I know. If I ever make it down to Florida, that's definitely going to be on my list.
Oh, it's on my list. Yeah, absolutely. I have no reason. That'd be the only reason to go to Florida, to be to fish, because you're not going to drag me through Walt Disney's joint or nothing.
No, not Walt. There's more to Florida than Walt Disney.
Yeah.
We could go to Okeechobee and slay some crappie out there. Did you ever see how they fish for them out there, Lyle?
They fish right in the
weeds.
Yeah, right in them.
What they do is they have kind of like cane poles, but they're synthetic. Some of them are even carbon fiber, and they actually put like 20 of them around their pontoon boats. And all they do is just put live minnows on them. They buy minnows, by the pound, load them up, and they just reel them in one after another. That would be fun.
That would be fun. Yeah, that'd be fun. Of course, now you can go to Florida. In certain areas, you can find peacock bass,
Yeah, they're everywhere.
red-tailed catfish. They've brought them up from the Amazon and got them in certain areas. I don't think they're doing as well in our water as they did in their native water. But if they ever get red-tailed sunfish,
Our catfish, right? That's on your list.
oh yeah, red-tailed catfish. If they would get a hold on them where they travel up and down the Mississippi River,
You don't want that to happen, Lyle.
well, I'm just thinking about all the Asian carp they could eat.
Oh, yeah.
Because they eat a lot. I mean, they get pretty good size.
Danny Stone Outdoors says, Mark turned those piranhas loose in the lake. I saw the movie. Dang things ate everybody. I cannot confirm nor deny that, Danny Stone.
Oh, man.
Danny's good people. So is Parker.
Yeah.
Chad as well. We got, when I made that bumper for the beginning of the show, I was seeing it, like I said earlier in the show, I was looking at everybody smiling and how great they are and how much fun they're having just catching plain old panfish. I mean, doesn't get any better than that. If you can find happiness in the simple things in life, you're ahead of the game, 100%.
That's a great analogy of that. It really is, because I used to think I had to catch big fish to fish and be happy and be satisfied. That's very, very far from the truth. I'm just as happy catching an 8-inch bluegill as I am catching a 30-pound blue cat. I really am. I seen something in a video the last couple of days that I've been kind of dwelling on, and maybe I shouldn't bring this up, but him and his wife was crappie fishing. I told you about the video. You've seen it. They are long lining jigs for crappie, and I find that since I have a couple extras, if I snagged and lost one or two, I'd probably be okay, and I don't have to pay $6 or $8 for crankbaits. The point of it is, I've got tons of jigs, so I could do that. I was shocked at the fact that they're going a mile an hour or more to catch these crappie. But what got me was they don't fight the fish. They want it to come right to the top of the water and ski it to the boat. What the hell?
That's how I've done it in the past. You kind of don't have a choice when you're trolling. You don't want to fight the fish. Is
that because they don't want to get it tangled up?
Well, you don't want to get tangled up. Not when you got 6 or 8 lines out the back. 6-pound test. Another thing that I think the gentleman's name is Brad. I don't know about his last name. You have to forgive me. He's over at Crappie Connection. This is the one you were talking about. He did a video with his wife. I've seen that. Those guys are they're scooting along the water there, and they're using 1/8-ounce jigs, which we normally don't do when we're crappie fishing, but you got to use what you got to use in that scenario. Use twister tails or the whatever other brand that he's sponsored by, and he does great. And also, rather than using planer boards and stuff, he also uses like 14-foot rods on the outside, a 12-foot rod for the second one, and 10-foot rod for the middle one. It's pretty interesting to watch how people do it. And this guy's a tournament fisherman. He knows what he's doing, and he was killing the fish. It was working. They're just trying to get him in the boat.
Back to the boat. I don't want to reel so fast, ski him across. I want to feel him tug
my favorite way to crappie fish is I want to see a bobber go under 100%.
Well, yeah,
and I want to try some of those. I've been seeing a lot of videos lately that I've been watching with those rocket bobbers that they claim they lay on their side and they actually go up when fish. But I've been wanting to try some of those, so we're gonna go pick some of them up. No, I don't need help, Lyle.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I'm available.
I was at Farm and Fleet, and they had that St. Croix panfish rod I was talking to you about. I almost called you to have you talk me into buying it, but I decided it wasn't a good idea.
I would have been happy to help you out.
Speaking of Florida, there's small water charters. What's going on, John? He's a guy down there in Okeechobee, and I've seen some of his videos. He gets on those pesky bass, which he loves dearly, which is cool. Makes him happy. That's all that counts. But he does really well on the crappie as well. So,
I watched another video. Dave Scott had a new video out today. I watched his, but I watched a video the other day, and the guy was actually crappie fishing, and he kept catching these smallmouth bass, and he would cuss and beat himself out because he was catching all these bass. I thought, damn man, if you're catching that many, put them on a stringer, take them home and eat them. Don't just throw them back in there so you can cuss at them next time.
well, we have a season here. We can't keep anything until June 14th as far as smallmouth going. It's a 14 minimum. Yeah, they do that. It's a big smallmouth's a big deal around here, and there's some decent sized ones. Last week when I was trolling crankbaits, I got onto a couple, and I ain't gonna lie, they were a fun fight, Lyle. They definitely were. They were jumping out of the water and digging deep and stuff. And I'm talking fish that are barely at 14 inches. So they were pretty hard fighters too. And unlike the green bass, unlike the largemouth bass, the green ones, they live in a river, constantly moving water. They like rocks, and they leave.
They're all muscled up.
Yeah, there's a big difference in taste for sure.
They're really good on a fly rod. I enjoy them very much to catch, but I'm telling you, if I was tired of catching them, I'd be eating them. Every one you eat is one less that's going to eat your crappie and bluegill. It's just a way of life. Ask James Dockery. He's the one that told me that.
Danny Stone says that me too. I have the rocket bobber, that double hook Dave sent me. That thing is the cat's meow. Let me know what you think, Danny, before I go buy like 50 of them.
Let's go for 100. 50 won't do it.
Wabash Nate wants to try him too. You got anything else for us, Lyle?
I don't, other than be sure to tune in to Chad and the boys tomorrow night on the bait shop, and
Stan on Friday night,
and Jody on Fridays. Yeah, sure. There's something going on through the weekend. I don't know what it is. I haven't seen. For some reason, I don't get notifications on a lot of that stuff that I used to get for whatever reason. Haven't been getting notifications on what's going on over the weekends. Of course, Catfish Weekly Monday night. We're going to have a good show Monday night. I'm not going to elaborate on it. You're liable to see some live stuff happening. Might want to tune in. I know that there's supposed to be a lady fishing on there. So
ooh,
might want to. I want to come check it out. It's going to be a fun show, and of course we'll be back next Wednesday, Mark.
Yes, we will. 100%. I might have an idea for
next double hook angling. Hi, Dave.
David was saying on Facebook that he wasn't able to get out and do some fishing. Hopefully he's feeling better and up to it and he gets back out.
I hope so too.
Because I know Dave and his son love to fish together.
He does a show on
Friday mornings. Yeah, coffee and jigs.
A lot of times I haven't been yet.
Lyle will tune in when he's just going to bed. That's the problem.
That's kind of is, but yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking. I don't get to see him much anymore, but it is what it is. I got to have my beauty sleep.
Danny's leaving us with a tip. He says the rocket bobber also has a built-in hook remover on the tip. Good to know. Might have to buy 50 of them. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Absolutely. Mark, great show. Thanks for being here with me tonight. Appreciate it very much.
Had a lot of fun. Hopefully somebody learned something, or we entertained them, or at least kept them company for the evening. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys.
That's a fact. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next Wednesday night.